If you don't know me, I'm Professor Eder Marques, creator and founder of this channel. This channel here in Brazil is exclusively a nursing channel, and we are the largest in Brazil. We are fourth in the world when it comes to nursing. Here we post content that will help you in your daily life, whether you're a student or a professional. It helps you with various topics and helps you understand many things. But before you say, oh my God, why are you introducing yourself like this, even though I already know you? I've been around for a while, I've already watched the videos. Well, there are some new people who have just arrived, and I should have done this before. If you don't know about Professor Eder's background and nursing career, listen up. I'm going to share my story. No crying. If anyone cries, let it be Professor Eder, alright? Let's skip the intro and get straight to it, guys. Here's the deal. I never imagined in my life that when I was in college, I thought about being an emergency room nurse, an intensive care unit nurse, a coronary care unit nurse. Something like that never crossed my mind, but during my college years, I went through a lot of hardships. I was really hungry. When I say really, people may assume I've always had a good life. I walked to college and faced many difficulties, but I won't share those details to keep this video short. But during all that time, I was a teaching assistant in biochemistry, pharmacology, semiology, surgical center, fundamentals, and nursing. So I always wanted to be there learning, and I thought that one way to learn more would be to teach the people who were at my level, who were my classmates, my peers in my class. I really enjoyed that, and it earned me some extra money. There was no scholarship for tutoring, but people paid me to tutor them before exams. So that allowed me to put some money in my pocket, even just to make some photocopies for food and bus fare. And when I lacked it, I'd walk. If I couldn't afford food, I just didn't eat, obviously. So that's the truth. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you don't, right? So is this Professor Eder's reality? And when I moved to Brasília hoping for a job, because in the city where I was, it was tough, right? I had no career plan, no guidance, and no knowledge, so I moved to Brasília. As a favor, I stayed at a friend's house. This friend said, "Man, stay here and I'll take care of the expenses." Here, he rented a 3-bedroom apartment. I was unemployed. I came here with just a small bag of things. And during that time, I said, man, now I don't even have money to go back because I came here hitching a ride with him. When he moved here, I came along and thought, man, I'm screwed. And then a week later, another friend of ours who was here said, Eder, I'm already working at the hospital, and an opportunity came up for me to be a preceptor for internships. Do you want it? I said, man, I'll do anything, even mow the lawn. Seriously, guys. I said, man, anything, I'm in. So, okay, I'll give your contact to the person, and he did. The person said, I don't know him, but I have a recommendation. And I replied, you can trust me, I'm solid. We keep our word, especially since a friend recommended it, right? Brasília is in the federal district and has several satellite cities for those who know or don't know. I lived in Itaguatinga, specifically Itaguatinga Norte and Aguas Lindas de Goiás at that time. It's a city in Goiás that's close to the federal district. So you just catch a bus, in about an hour you're there, and that's it. My first job opportunity was as an internship preceptor at Bomhesis Hospital, which I even heard is closed for renovations now. Anyway, you know politics, right? That was my first job opportunity, and the folks who make lemonade out of lemons were there. The students praised me to the coordinators. The coordinators asked me to teach in the classroom, where students liked me and other teachers were present. I asked Sergio if he wanted to teach at a technical school in Brasília. He agreed, saying he was in, and started teaching there. It got tougher since I had more opportunities in Brasília than in Aguas Lindas. Makes sense, right? I stayed closer to home, got a full schedule, and later started working at the hospital. So what I want you to understand is that everything I post on this channel since I created it, I have experience dating back to 2006 as an undergraduate, where I spent 4 years fully dedicated to full-time studies. I received scholarships to attend college, which was expensive. I wouldn't have been able to pay for it, and at the same time, I couldn't work because the course was full-time. Back then, there were only in-person classes, no night or hybrid courses. So that made it possible for me to stay holed up, basically in a cave. Inside the university, I kind of lived in the library. I was either in the classroom or the library, or the classroom or the collaborative library. That allowed me to gain the knowledge I have today and to have my journey here in Brasília. To be more direct and to sum up, I worked in hospitals, completed a postgraduate course, earned a master's, a doctorate, another master's, and kept staying updated. At Harvard, I started a company. It gave me a headache. I didn't make any money, but I learned a bit about entrepreneurship. That was back in 2012. I closed it in 2015. And in 2015, I started Prática Enfermagem. And Prática Enfermagem began in 2015 with Prática Enfermagem, a company that offered courses and residency prep. We used to get around 50 to 55 people approved per class. It was excellent in the federal district, especially after 2015. I was in college teaching at the university center with a huge workload. Thank God, that was very important. I left the hospitals and only stayed in undergraduate and then graduate studies, mostly on weekends and as time went on. I served as coordinator for an undergraduate program at one institution and later at another for undergraduate studies. I coordinated nursing and graduate programs. I also earned a second master's degree at the Federal University of São Paulo, which was great for gaining experience there. And the channel started in 2018. If you look closely, if you have the patience to scroll down, you'll see that the first videos were made back in 2018, and they were 5 videos about oxygen therapy. I think I was wearing a little cap. I made those videos. I didn't like them. I admit I didn't like them because, man, the worst thing in the world. Try it yourself. Record yourself and then listen to yourself talking. You'll hate your voice, you'll hate everything, so I hated everything. I said, man, recording videos just isn't for me. It's crazy and I didn't even need it since I was financially at my best. When I talk about working as a teacher, coordinating a course in 2019, I was just clicking there in my email and I saw, oh, there's a channel, let me see what it's like. And then I never looked at it again, man, seriously. I had 5,000 subscribers and a video with 15,000 or 18,000 views. I said, man, 15,000 people watched my video and I was like, wow, that's cool. And that gave me a boost to say, wow, that's awesome. Look at your contribution. I didn't have time then. When we talk about time, I didn't have time to make videos for YouTube. I coordinated an undergraduate course, a postgraduate course, taught classes, taught postgraduate classes, was doing a master's degree in São Paulo, so I had to go to São Paulo. I was there every month. Saying, Eder, you had time. No, I didn't, but what did I do? I turned on the camera, recorded, and edited everything myself. I only paid to have an intro made, the first intro we had there, so I did everything else myself. I recorded it the way I thought was best and uploaded the content there. And then I started uploading more consistently in 2019, and when 2020 came, unfortunately, the world stopped because of a virus called SARS-CoV-2. And then during that so-called lockdown that the world was in Brazil entered, afterward, the channel grew from 20,000 to 330,000 subscribers by year's end. So for those of you who are just arriving and think I got lucky with something or anything like that, just understand it was working hard to graduate, working hard to earn my opportunities, and working hard to build the channel. It was never a financial priority and still isn't. Since it doesn't pay for itself, I've always just enjoyed doing it. Because every story I hear from current students and those who weren't students before, who didn't even know, you might watch a video today and be my student tomorrow. But reading stories from people who got a job or saved lives is priceless to me. So since that time, it has always been about creating content for the public, for the nursing community. So this channel, I say this, I really love it because the results it brings me are just amazing. And I'm not talking about numbers because if it were, nobody lives off numbers. At least I don't live off numbers here, specifically talking about YouTube. So be happy that you're a subscriber. If you're not a subscriber, understand that you're part of the more than 60% of people who consume my content and don't subscribe. So just so you know, we have almost 1 million subscribers, but that only accounts for 40% of those who watch the channel. With 60%, I'd already have $1.5 million. So just so you can see that I do this from the heart without expecting anything in return, in the sense of the only thing I would like is for more people to have the opportunity to be aware of this content. And given the number of people who are here, we could be bigger. But the important thing is that the final mission is to deliver to those who really need it, who can't afford to buy a course, quality content, provide to teachers for inclusion in their curriculum or syllabus as supplemental material for undergraduate, postgraduate, or technical courses. That already makes me really happy about everything happening, all right? And basically, that was a little bit of the presentation I wanted to give you.